Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof on Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
Let the cream rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof on Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof on Radio stream. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is now May 2nd. We're well on our way to the summer and the COVID. It is 2020. And I hope you guys are still practicing your social distancing. Nobody is here in Arizona, I can tell you that. It's over for COVID-19, I think. And people want to get back to work. People here in the chat room saying they're getting their $1,200 check. And, well, let's hope Uncle Richie here gets his last 5 weeks of unemployment. Maron, I'm telling you, waiting for this money is driving me crazy. Well, anyway, so we continue on. Life goes on. Ufology is continuing on. The paranormal world is nonstop. You know, the videos are still coming out and people still want to share their experiences. And which brings us to tonight's show. Tonight I have Richard Lennie. That's Lennie. He will be coming on here in a few seconds to talk about 30 years. Yeah, here it is. It's 30 years. He's one of the premier researchers in the field of ufology in the United Kingdom. He has become a voice of authority on the UFO phenomenon and extraterrestrial contact and abduction. He says, from a sighting in December 1980, I guess that's when it started, above my old school, where I observed 7 red lights to Fastwalkers, quote unquote, seen only through night vision equipment discovered by my late great friend, Mr. Ed Grimsley, I know that name, to daytime UFOs seen through infrared by using filters and night shot function on old camcorders. Since then, I have discovered we are not alone here on planet Earth or in space. Never forget, there's all that out there. I continue to search for the reason why they are here and what, what, if any, is their intentions to be here. I'm 57 years old. I live in West Somerset, England. I've done TV. He's done a lot of stuff, guys. I mean, he's all over. You've probably seen or heard it, listened to him. All over the world, along with doing PowerPoints around the country. That's cool. You can find me on Facebook under Richard Lennie, ufologist, or you can just Google him and see what he's done. And I'd like to welcome Richard Lennie to the show. Mr. Lennie, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, welcome. Very happy to have you here. We've been talking, a little bit here and there over the last several months, but you're in the UK. So what is it, 3 a.m.?
Yeah, 3:06, and it's the 3rd. Yeah.
See, this is the love that I talk about. Like only, me or you, other people understand the passion we have for this field. You've been in it for 30 years. I'm in it for half that. So I appreciate you taking the time to come here. It's a great honor. So 30 years, that, like I just said, 1980, you saw those. Can you take us back to that day? And I know you've done it a million times, but just so my fans here know. And hi, everybody in the chat room. All right. What happened in 1980?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Well, actually, it was 75, 76 when I was at school, and I actually did an oral exam, believe it or not, on how to fake a UFO photograph, and which was quite bizarre. Throwing a frisbee up, taking a photograph of it, and showing how you could do all that. And it was a 3-minute talk for an oral exam, which I passed. So I got that from these old books. I don't know if you remember them, Rich. I don't know if you've seen them. These old books we used to get in the library. These black and white photos of like lights coming over in like New York, Washington.
Yes.
And you remember the old 50 cars in the car park, and you had these lights. Yeah. Anyway, I found that fascinating. They were my uncle's books, and I found some in the library as well. And this is where I got the idea of trying to fake a photo. Anyway, it all went from there, really. And then December 1980, I got off the bus. I just started work in Dixon's photographic shop, and I was 18 years old. And I live in a little village, and it was 6 o'clock at night. And I got around the corner. My old school, my old primary school was there. And I saw in the distance these 7 little dots of red lights, and I thought perhaps they were planes. So I thought, well, I'll just stand here for a minute, see what they do, thinking they were going away. And they weren't. They were actually coming towards me. They were getting bigger. And I thought, well, that's odd, because they should be white, not red. And they were in like a V, or a half circle formation. And they got quite close, actually, and they were like balls of red light, solid balls of red light going up into like a half semicircle like that. And just as I sort of saw them getting bigger, a friend of mine came around a corner off the next bus. And so I had a witness with me, good friend called Glenn. And we both stood there because he wanted to know what I was doing. I said, well, check this out, Glenn. And he looked up and he said, wow, what's this? And I said, I don't know, just check it out. So we watched. And the outer two of the formation, okay, they moved up like that. Then they went round and like that into a circle. And then they went back down into the formation again. And then they started to move over us. And as we looked up, I can remember it to this day. It all looked like they were connected, like it was one big craft.
Okay.
And then they were gone. And then they went real quick. But that was, I think, a Monday or a Tuesday, because I remember on the Friday, our local paper called the Western Mercury came out, and there was a report of one red ball of light seen flying around our airfield, Western Airfield. But they only saw one, and they only recorded one. Glenn and me, we saw all 7. And,
but didn't you say all 7 were as what you thought it was one?
Yeah, because when they went over us, it almost I could see like a structure, like a girders, like a metallic-y sort of structure, and they looked like it was all connected. Yeah, like it was one big craft. I always remember that. Yeah, and then things just flew off as one sort of section, like the whole lights all went off at the same time together. But like I said, people saw that around Western, but they said they only saw one. And funnily enough, a guy I worked with in Dixon's, he later on told me a few years later that he saw that as well. But he said he was in his garden, he had a telescope, and he was right by the airfield, because that's where the back of their garden was. It sort of went onto the airfield, and they saw this ball of red light, like doing all this business. And they sort of like ran into the house, like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But they only saw one. And it was only recorded in the Mercury as being one ball of red light. But don't forget, this is around about the same time as the Rendlesham Forest incident, because that was,
right.
yeah, I mean, I can't say what the date was, but I'm sure it's like mid-December.
Wow.
So, yeah, right.
Because Rendlesham was Christmas Eve, right? And Christmas Day.
Yeah. And it came back the next night. And don't forget, it was a ball of red light to begin with before it landed. So I'm wondering whether the two were connected. Obviously, I'll never know, but, you know.
But that's what they saw through the forest, was a red winking, and it winked, you know, it would wink on and off. Did those lights were always
they didn't wink for us. No, they're always solid.
Yeah.
When they went out like that and into a semicircle and came back down, I thought, well, what are they going to do? Like, you know.
Yeah.
I was getting a bit worried at that point.
What I like about it is back then there were no drones that we know of. Right. So, you know, and you didn't hear anything or feel anything, did you?
No. But I tell you this, though, what was strange, and afterwards, because at the time I didn't think about it, it was quite busy. 6 o'clock, people coming home. Like I said, my mate Glenn came around, but we were the only two. There was no one else. There was no cars going by. There was no people walking. And it wasn't until I got home afterwards, I thought, wow, that was a bit weird. And also, I lived with my grandparents, and my gran said that my dinner was ruined. It had all burnt in the oven. And I thought, well, I'd only stopped for like, 5-8 minutes, something like that. So did I lose time? I don't know. Because back then I didn't think to check, you know, because I didn't know anything about losing time or anything. I didn't know anything about that. So
after this happens, what happens now? The next couple of days, are you going outside looking for these things?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of course I caught the bug. And I'm thinking, well, they can come back, you know. And we lived quite near a hill, so I'd go up on the hill and
cool,
you know, and I'd see like shooting stars, and I did see a fireball actually, which was quite cool, which I've never seen again. But yeah, that was it. I you know, nothing else. So
and then you're going to fast forward. How long is it until you actually catch something or see something the next time? Oh, before you answer that, did you notice you were having any dreams or of aliens, UFOs, anything like that right after you saw these 7? Do you remember?
I don't remember. No, I can't say I did. I can't say I did, but I may have done. Who knows? But it's like because I keep thinking I wish I checked the time, because I knew what time I got off the bus. So did I lose? I mean, I know my grandparents weren't happy with me because they wanted to know where I'd been and did you miss the bus? And I was thinking, well, I wasn't that, you know. I said, I met my friend Glenn and we were just looking at some stuff in the sky, you know, and that was it. But they seemed to think I was gone a while.
I wonder if it's possible that was when, hey, you don't know, you could have been taken your whole life and that was just a time you remembered it. I don't see how they could block everything out, but maybe they let you see what they want you to see, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a process, I think. And that's how I feel it is for me. I can't imagine doubling what I've learned now, what you have learned. So after this thing, you try to find out if you could see it. You're going up on the hill. How long was it until you actually saw something and or recorded something?
So, well, I kept thinking things were following me. This is crazy. I'd walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't driving at this point. So I was walking to my girlfriend's house, and then when I was walking back home, I thought, you know, things were following me. I kept looking up at the sky. I don't know. I had this feeling, you know, that it was coming following me. I was getting paranoid about it, and so then I started getting some more books at the library and seeing books, you know, and I was buying them because, of course, at this point we didn't have the internet, don't forget. So I had to rely purely on books and stuff like that, which was, you know, that's all. And there was nothing on TV really at all. But yeah, and then I was reading this thing about UFOs following people and taking them, and I was thinking, gosh, you know, did that happen to me? But I don't remember, you know. So if it did, I wouldn't remember it.
Yeah.
But I remember being paranoid about being followed, and I had this feeling that there was, that there was something up there in the sky that was watching me. So so we fast forward now, because after that incident of 1980 Christmas time, I didn't really see anything really substantial until we get into I suppose the 90s. I was up one night looking out the back in my garden, nothing, just looking up with my eyes, and I thought I saw something flying around. So I got my binoculars and had a look through my binoculars, and there was this thing, and it looked like a star, and it was going all like this, and then it would stop, and then it would start doing this again, and then it would stop, like a fly or something, but it was up in space. And I thought, gosh, this is crazy. What's this going on? It would have been about 3 a.m. Because I got home late from a nightclub, and I thought it was a lovely, beautiful night. I thought before I go to bed, I'm going to, just go out the back garden and have a look up, because I still had this in my mind. I was driving now at this point, so I could, I could drive to different places and where there was no light pollution, and this is what I was doing, just to see if I could see stuff, but I wasn't. But this night I was in my back garden, and there was this thing flying around, and it was in space. And I was looking through my binoculars, and I was thinking, what is this thing, And then I found a book where somebody else had seen it in Canada, and they took photos of it, and they said it was doing exactly the same thing. It was like a firefly, and it was buzzing like all the way around the sky like this. And they got some really good photos of it. So and then that was that. And then we fast forward basically to the internet, when everybody was getting stuff, and I was still like on the internet checking out. I was seeing videos, people were taking photos of like flying saucers and lights in the sky. I was reading stuff, and then I came across Mr. Ed Grimsley, and he said he could see stuff through night vision, and he had a website and had his phone number. So I phoned him and had a 2-hour chat with him on the phone. He was a really nice guy, and he told me what to buy. And he said, Rich, you're going to see a lot more through night vision, because I don't know if you know this, you see 40% more than you do with the naked eye.
Yeah.
So I bought a pair of night visions, nothing too expensive, but they were a +2 generation. And then that was it. I was seeing stuff all the time. Early in the evenings, he told me to go out, but I was getting a lot of satellites and stuff. So I thought I'd leave it till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I found around about 2:30, 3 was when it was really sort of like busy up there. But funnily enough, for the first few weeks, I wasn't seeing anything. I was just about to put them onto the internet to sell them. And I was out in the back, and I was up here like this. And I always remembered it was around about 3:30 in the morning. 3 massive discs went flying over, high up, but like they were huge. I mean, they were massive. 3 of them in a row like that, going north. And I was just like this, thinking, wow, that was amazing. And then I just like carried on, like looking up, hoping I'd see some more. And about 20 minutes later, another 3 went over. And then just before the sun came up, another 3 went over.
Man.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this in the night vision?
Yeah. And then that was it. I was going out every night, like around about 2:30, because this seemed to be the time that it really got getting busy. And I was seeing these, I don't know if you use night visions, Rich, but there's this thing that I catch every now and again. It's almost like see-through. It's like a ghost sort of image.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
translucent.
Yeah. And isn't it quick? Man, that thing flies, and you're like trying to follow it. It's like, what the hell's that? Oh,
couldn't
I get
it be
quite a lot.
Couldn't it be a shooting star, maybe? Or
no. It's not a shooting star. No, I mean we get those anyway. No, these things. It's sort of like the shape of like a disc, and it's on its angle like that, and it's like really fast, and it's going across space, and you're just trying to follow it. There's no tail behind it, and it's literally, and then until you can't see it anymore. So, and I get those quite a lot.
When did you start seeing these? Do you remember the year?
Yeah, this would have been around about 2005.
Yeah, and YouTube was new. So do you have a place now where these are showcased?
I have got some footage, but funnily enough, I'm just starting up a YouTube channel, so I will be putting stuff on there. Yeah, but at the moment I haven't. No.
Yeah, I just started this channel a year and a half ago, so
Yeah.
it's never too late, especially with YouTube. But it would be great to see this stuff.
Yeah.
So, do you get a lot of people telling you that you're not seeing UFOs at all?
Absolutely, they're just saying I'm seeing space debris, I'm seeing birds, bats, shooting stars. Yeah,
Isn't it
satellites.
hard though?
Satellites is the big one. Oh, you're
Yeah,
seeing satellites. Well, I know what satellites look like. I know they go across slow. I know they go across fast, depending if they're near or higher, depending on
yeah,
whereabouts they are. I know that some reflect, right, and they pulse up, flash.
yeah. The
They're
iridium flare. Yeah,
iridium. Yeah, yeah. I know all about these because I caught in the trap with the flary ones, and I thought, wow,
yeah,
and then I realized it was iridium satellite. So I know all about those, and I know what bats look like, and I know what satellites look like. So and these aren't any of those things. These are something else. But then I had an experience where I don't know if anyone else has ever seen this through night visions, but again, it was around about 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was winter time. It was freezing cold, and I was literally about to go in. I had gloves on, and I couldn't even feel my fingers. And
yeah.
I mean, it was a beautiful night. It was crystal clear. There were stars everywhere. And then it just looked like a star, but it was moving up vertical like that, really slowly. So I thought, right, I've got to keep on this, because if I don't, I'm going to lose it. And then it's just going to be in a mass of other stars. So I just followed it up like that. And then it just stopped. And then I'm like this, thinking, right, what's it going to do? And it just stopped. It didn't do anything, right? And we're talking about 5-6 minutes. And then all of a sudden, a little bit of a circle came out of it. So we had 1.5. And then it poked back in. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this thing? Then it did it again, right? And then it went back in. So I'm like this, looking at it, thinking, this isn't a star. This isn't a planet. This isn't a plane. It's not a helicopter. It's hovering, it's stationary, but it's not a helicopter. And then the little thing came out again, and it stayed there. And then what looked like a beam of light started to come out of it really slowly, like this, or like that. And I'm looking at it thinking, wow, what is that? And it just carried on. I mean, I assume this was in space, because this is what it looked like. So we now have 1.5 circles and a beam that through my night visions looked about that long. How long that was, I don't know.
Yeah.
Plasma type beam, right? And then it just stayed there. And I'm like this, thinking, what's going on? And then it slowly starts to move back in, right?
Oh man.
Beam starts to move back in, right? Then the 2.5 circles become 1, and then we're back to that 1, what looks like a star again. And I'm thinking, what's it going to do now? And then it was gone. And I'm not joking. It was literally like the USS Enterprise. It just went like that, so fast. It was like I couldn't even follow it.
Yeah.
And then about 10 seconds afterwards, there was a big flash of what looked like lightning. That was it.
My God.
So was that a craft? Was that a craft preparing for and going into light speed? Because I think that's what it was. I don't know, but that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, that's what the Hollywood version makes it seem like it would be. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
What was it? I don't know. You tell me. But that beam might have been moving the molecules aside. So
yeah, like
opening
up.
Opening up like a portal. But
well, I've had a similar sighting. That's why I was sitting there going,
"Oh, right,
my
okay."
God. Yeah. So yeah, but that is amazing. When was this? What year?
Okay, this would have been, that was later on. This that would have been around about 2014.
Okay, because
2013, 2012, 2013. So between 2012 and 2014, that would have been.
You didn't talk about the 2011 one yet, though.
No, I know.
That's the one I might as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This is obviously flying stuff, through the sky and stuff like that. But yeah, that was incredible. I mean, obviously it might not have been a craft preparing for and going into light speed, but that's what I interpreted it as. And that was around about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy. But so that was around about sort of 2012 to 2014, around about that time. But around about 2011, I was on a TV show called Rich Planet TV, and doing what we're doing now, basically.
Yeah.
And then when it finished filming, I went out to the car, and in the car park, this guy called me over and said, "Rich, can I just have you for a minute?" go, yeah, sure. He goes, look, wonder if you can help this lady called Nina. She lives down in Devon, and you know, she's seeing a lot of stuff. And she went up to a 3-day UFO expo in Leeds with her information that she's got, and none of the ufologists up there took her seriously. So she actually came back crying. I mean, this is how bad it was. She's in her 60s, and you know, there's a lot of stuff going on down there, and she was getting really upset about it. And so look, I said, yeah, give me her phone number. Of course I'll phone her, you know, just see what's going on. So I phoned the lady up and told her who I was, because she didn't know me, obviously. And I said, like, you know, gave me the phone number and everything. And she remembered the guy, because he was up there. That's how he met her and got a phone number. But he wasn't a ufologist. So, and so I said, look, you know, I've got some equipment here. I've got night visions. I've also got some thermal camera stuff. Would you like me to come down and check out what you're seeing? And maybe I can give you some answers. So she said, yeah, do you mind? I said, no problem. I said, you're only a couple of hours away from me. I'll come down on the train, you meet me from the station, and we'll go from there. Which is exactly what I did do. So we arranged it. She picked me up from the station. Really lovely lady. She's in her 60s, but she looked a lot younger than that. And the first thing when I saw her was striking was her eyes. They were so big. I mean, wow, they just were crazy. Anyway, so she
What
took
do you mean?
me.
What do you mean? Her eyes were abnormal? Like,
no, they were just beautiful. They were blue, but they were just big, you know, and a little bit, yeah,
like Goldie Hawn-ish.
Yeah, I mean, it was striking. You know, I had a connection with her straight away. And
okay.
We went back to her place, and I don't know what her house was like or anything, but she was telling me on the way. She had a driver. She didn't drive, so she had a driver, which I thought, okay, cool. And she has this basically house, big house, and she's got 100 acres of land around this house, and it's all hers. Her husband died and left it all to her.
Wow. Yeah.
100 acres. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, how am I gonna cover all this? But she said, well, don't worry, Richard, because most of the activity happens around the house. So you're looking at you know, the garden and maybe one of the other big fields, and that's it. You don't need to go out beyond that. I said, okay. So we got down there, and it was daytime. It was, you know, I could see everything, no problem. She showed me the bark of a tree with no bark on it. And there was like, you know, it's just a white tree with no bark on it at all. She said a craft came down and landed over there. And she said all this bark just disappeared, literally in front of me. And I looked at the tree and thought, well, there's no way she could fake that. Yeah. I mean, it's a big tree, and it was white. It looked like something out of a movie, you know, like it was a movie set.
It was stripped of the bark?
Completely. Everything was gone. It was a white tree. No bark on it at all. Yeah.
Okay.
There was another tree next to it with half the bark missing, and then the other half was fine.
Oh, I see. But no burn marks or anything like that?
No.
Wow. Okay.
But she said you can see where the craft lands, because she said what happens is it's got these feet that go up underneath and like they grip, and she said it moves all the soil. And it's very intricate. Yeah. And I saw all that. So she wasn't making that up. And the thing was massive. I mean, it was like a football pitch in size. But this one was just a little tiny craft that landed with spindly legs, apparently. That's what she told me.
Yeah.
And it caused all this. So anyway, she goes, Rich, I got this video I want to show you. She said, I was going to Sainsbury's, which is a shop where we buy our food from over here. And in the car park, I saw a black triangle fly over. And I got my camcorder, because I always take it with me, she said. And I was videoing it from my car. But she said, Rich, when I went back home and put the video cassette in and played it, I wasn't in the car looking up. I was in the craft, the triangle craft, looking down.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It must have been 1,000, 2,000 feet up.
What?
You've got to see it, Rich. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got to see this, right?
Yeah.
So she goes to one of her downstairs bedrooms that she's got.
God.
She bought a brand new TV. She had to unbox it and take all that, and then she was going to show me this video, right? So I'm out there with a drink, you know, looking at her beautiful, lovely garden. And all of a sudden, there was like a flash, and something like went straight past me, and it literally just missed my stomach. I was like, whoa! I went like that. It was like, what was that? It curveball into a downstairs bedroom window. Next thing I know, she comes crying out to me with the brand new TV that she hadn't even plugged in yet, literally melted. And you could smell the plastic. You know what plastic's like when it's burning?
Yeah.
She said, Rich, I don't think they want me to show you this video. I'm like, what happened? And she goes, I said, did it blow up when you? And she said, no, I never even got to that part. She said, I just literally took it out of the box, put it on my dressing table, and the thing just like imploded. I said, well, I saw the flash. I said, I don't know what it was, but I said, it came past me. I said, and as I looked like that, I could just see a curveball into your window. So
This
I checked
is
the
amazing.
window. Yeah, I couldn't see any burn marks on the window. There was no hole in the window. The window was fine.
Sure.
TV was US. It was gone, you know. The stench of the plastic burning, you know. So she had to get rid of that.
I believe it because my wife and I, my ex-wife, in 2004, we had an orb come through our bedroom window in the middle of the night, and then it went through a tree that was out the window, and half the tree died.
Whoa.
And yeah, that orb came in and went through our bathroom and everything. But okay, so I'm on board with this story. So this is unbelievable. I mean, you never hear stuff like this. So, all right, yeah, what happens next?
Okay, well, she's got a massive big plasma TV in her living room, but she said, look, I don't really want to show you on that just yet in case they, you know, damage that one. And I said, well, don't worry about it. Just tell me a little bit more about the story and I'll see it maybe tomorrow or another time. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see that video, but I had a friend who went up there the next day who lived near her. I told him about it and he went up there and he saw the video and he confirmed it. But apparently, he said on the video, you see her and she's got a hand on this metal strut and she's in some sort of like craft and she's looking down and the camcorder's down there and you see the rooftop of Sainsbury's supermarket, okay? And it's like a Walmart, okay? And then you got the car park and he said she must have been about 2,500 feet up, 3,000
Oh
feet
my
up.
God.
Yeah, people were like ants.
Yeah. Yeah, there would have to be, yeah.
And he said, there's no way she could fake it. I said, and I'm pretty good. I know when I see fake videos. He said, and that looked pretty real to me. And unless she had a helicopter and was able to mute the sound of the helicopter and do something with it, you know, there's no way on earth that she could have faked that video. And you could see her hand and the mark on her hand and stuff and the rings. It was her hand, you know.
I'm trying to think how that's possible. And
so she's in the car out the window, she said, and she was up there like that. And then when she put the video in and watched it when she got back, she was in the triangle craft.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm trying to think how somebody could have put that together and faked it, you know? It's
yeah.
It would have to be back then, you know. Well, when was this? 2005?
No. This was a lot later. This was 2011.
Oh, 11, that's right. So that's amazing. So he sees it and tells you about it.
Yeah. Because I phoned him. He phoned me actually, and because I wasn't able to get to see that because of what happened with the TV. Anyway, so that was the afternoon. Then she told me about the video and told me about other stuff. And she said, Rich, now this is what happens. Every night around about 7 o'clock, we get beams of light that start to go over my house like this in lattice work. So it goes over one way like that, and then it goes over another way like that. And this goes on for about 2 hours. She said, and apparently it's to protect the house. And then after that happens, and that's all stopped, then she gets the craft coming over. And during the week, she gets small craft. And then at the weekend, on a Saturday night, she gets the mothership that comes down and lands. Okay,
Does she have a schedule of everything?
Well, apparently she communicates through. She knows what's going on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I guess even weirder than that, Rich. Trust me. And so I'm taking all this in, obviously, with a pinch of salt, right? But everything's looking good so far, right? After my experience with the TV.
Yeah.
So I said, well, are they going to come tonight? And she said, well, hopefully. So anyway, about 9 o'clock, it's now dark, okay? And it'd been raining. So it got clouds up there and it's, and she said, look, Rich, come out here. Shall we go out the front? Okay, she's got a lovely gravel driveway, okay? Her car's parked away. And there's this dry space where it looks like a car's been. And there's just rain. She said, look, this is where one of the craft were. She said, what happens is it goes across, up like that and down again. And so it always has a dry patch when it does this. And she said, we didn't see it, obviously, but it must have happened earlier tonight. But she said, look, see, no car's been parked here, but this area is dry. I said, well, why do you think that is then? You know, what's the significance of this particular part of the house or this driveway? And she said, I don't know. But this is where it always happens. This is how I know to look for it, she said. So I thought you'd like to look at that. So I looked at it. Yeah, dry as a bone. Everything else around it, like a car had been there and then driven off.
Yeah.
And then we go back into the kitchen. She makes me drink. And then, well, then Ebby, the cat that she has, okay, it stops moving in the kitchen and it looks like it's going to be sick. So you think, okay, he's going to heave. And then you start to see the tiles of the wall of the kitchen coming through the cat. And the cat's disappearing. It dissipates. And it takes about 2 minutes and it's gone. And there's no more cat. And I'm thinking, okay, what happened? Where's the cat gone? What is this? This was a real cat, wasn't it? It wasn't a hologram. And she said, no, that's what they take the cat. She said, it's starting. Here, the animals in the farm next door, they're starting to make noises because they know that. I'm thinking, okay, so it's all going to kick off then. She said, yeah, they always take Ebby first and they bring Ebby back later, but they never bring Ebby back inside the house. Ebby's always outside meowing, wanting to come in. She doesn't have a cat flap. So there's no way of letting the cat in unless you open the door and let the cat in. She said, Richard, I was hunting all over the place for the cat. I couldn't work out where the cat was going. Till one day I was in the kitchen making tea and I just saw it. And it looked like it was going to be sick. And then it started to disappear. So I said, this is like off Star Trek.
Right.
The only difference is it takes 2 minutes rather than 2 seconds. She said, yeah. And it was incredible. You just see, like, it starts from the center of the cat and you start seeing the tiles and then the body just like goes out that way and then goes, gone. But it takes about 2 minutes.
Wow.
It doesn't happen instantly. And then I'm getting my stuff ready. I'm getting my camcorder out. I'm getting my night visions out. I'm making sure everything's working because I'm thinking, well, it's all going to kick off now. And about what it has, yeah. Oh, unfortunately, I didn't get that. But, you know, yeah, because when I saw that, I was just like that. I was like, whoa, I couldn't move. I was just watching it because I didn't want to miss, you know, what was happening.
Yeah, I
and you see it, and your eyes see it, but your brain's telling you it's not happening. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of.
It's totally not normal. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she runs out the door, and I'm thinking, oh, she must be going to get the cat. And she said, no, the cat goes for a couple of hours. It started. Richard, get your equipment. It started. I said, well, what's going on now? She said, beams are coming down. They're taking up soil. Come on, quick, get your stuff.
Oh my God.
So I get my night visions. Yeah, I get my night visions first. I go out and I switch them on. And she said, there they are. It's there. And I'm like, well, there's nothing there, Nina. I see trees or everything's all beautifully lit up, you know, but there's nothing there, Nina. She said, well, they must be. I said, well, how can you see it? And she said, well, they give me the ability to see. She said, I can see it. They're coming down a 45-degree angle. They're taking up soil. I'm thinking, well, the only other thing I do is push the infrared button, but it drains the battery a bit more. And I did that and bang, there they were. So I run back inside and get the camcorder, thinking, well, I've got night shot on that, which is basically the same thing. Hopefully I can record this. So I get the camcorder and I put it onto night shot and bang, yeah, there they were.
Wow.
So I start recording. So I've got all this on video, okay? 20 minutes of it, and you can hear her talking to me and all that.
Wow, yeah.
She goes, Rich, can you close the door because you're letting the heat out? And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, you know, I'm like recording these beams. You want me to close your door? And these beams are coming down, like she said, in a 45-degree angle. I think it was 3 of them, or it might have been 2. I can't remember. I haven't seen the video for a while. It's 2 or 3. Well, it's definitely 2 anyway, maybe 3. Now, they go up in a 45-degree angle. It's cloudy, remember? Okay, so it had been raining. And at the top of these 2 or 3 beams, you've got this kidney-shaped plasma ball doing this.
Kidney-shaped, like a peanut, like a peanut.
Yeah, like a peanut, yeah. And it's doing that, okay? It's rocking like this.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's it. Always, continuously like that as these beams are coming down. She knows it's taking up soil because in the mornings you'll see the round holes, which I obviously went and had a look at. 2 inches across, 4 inches down. The soil is beautifully machined like it's metal.
Yeah.
And they're all over a garden. And she's got berries that are being beautifully peeled. Oh yeah, acorns. You try cutting an acorn perfectly straight with a blade. It's impossible. these have been laser cut, and half been taken, the other half been left on the floor, right? Anyway, so I'm there like this, and I'm recording these beams, and I take my eye. I move the camcorder about like that. So now, like, I'm here. Now I can see over the camcorder. There's nothing there, right? So I'm looking through and I'm seeing these beams. So it looks like I'm playing a pre-recorded tape, but I'm not. This is live. This is happening now. Okay. And then she said, Richard, they're starting to move. I said, yeah, I can see. And they start to move around to the back of the property. So we got these beams coming down a 45-degree angle in the infrared spectrum. Yeah. She can see with her own eyes, which of course we know is humanly impossible, right? You can't see in the infrared spectrum. She can. She can see him, no problem, with no equipment at all. Anyway, so I give her the camcorder, and then I start to go towards the beams. I want to know, because I'm an investigator. I want to know what's going to happen. And these beams are, she grabs me and pulls me back and says, Richard, I'd rather you didn't. I said, okay. So I have to respect that. So I don't know what would have happened if I'd gone under the beams. But anyway, they went around the back of the property. So we run around to the back, and they were gone. Wow. We couldn't find them again, so they'd obviously stopped. As they went round the back, they must have gone up.
How long that last for?
25, 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, half an hour. And they take water as well, but I didn't see that. But she said she's got a man-made pond. And she said, Rich, I used to go down to my man-made pond. I went, yeah. She said, I couldn't work it out why the level kept going down. So I got the guys out that built it. I've got a leak. I must have a leak. You haven't got a leak, Nina. Everything's fine. We checked it all. It's all fine. Fill it back up. Now you go down again. Anyway, so she'd go out there one night and she saw them lifting the water up.
No way.
Yeah, the water was literally being taken up into the sky, just like the soil was being taken up through these beams. Again, it was beams coming down and they were taking up water. So they take up soil, they take up water, they take every the cat, they take fruit, they take vegetables, they take everything. Bark of a tree. I mean, we assume they take the bark, I don't know. But they seem to be like farmers. They forage. They want to take stuff. And all I can assume is they're taking it to see if we're poisoning the planet.
Sure, everything.
Because to me, they look like they're our guardians. And they, because I can tell you stuff about contrails as well. When they go in and out of contrails and they check to see if there's anything else. And they take a bit of the contrail away. It's like an eraser. I've actually got it on video. I've watched them do it. A sphere will actually take away a bit of the contrail jet.
Oh, wow.
And they'll fly off with it. Yeah. And there'll be a gap there. So you have contrail, blue sky, contrail, jet. And it's perfect.
Yeah. I have video of those. Yeah. Those are wild. So this lady, that's in 2011. So.
Yeah, she started, right. I'll just explain. Up until the 6th of November 2010, she was not seeing anything. Everything was fine. It was a Saturday night, okay? It was bonfire weekend. So on bonfires, 5th of November here in the UK. And then on a Saturday, usually we have like a big bonfire party. So obviously some guys were having a party over there in another field somewhere next to her neighbors. So she was out the window on the 6th of November 2010 watching these fireworks. And all of a sudden, she'd see like baskets coming down with little tiny spheres coming out of the baskets like this. And they were landing in one of her fields. And so, wow, that's cool. Then she realized they weren't anything to do with the bonfire party. It was something else. And that's when it all kicked off. And then she started seeing these craft flying over, the big mothership landing in one of her main fields further over. She sees these 7 feet tall beings in silver suits with a pack on their left arm, walking around her garden, the garden where we saw the beams coming down. They get they get a silver, like a triangle bit of equipment out. They put it into a bush and black smoke comes out of the bush. She doesn't know what that means.
But Richard, with this woman having all these experiences, don't you think the government would be there knocking it? You know what I mean? Did she have any interaction with the government?
Well, this is where the story gets even stranger because.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of her house, she has what's called a granny attic, sort of like a little tiny house on the end, which she used to rent out.
Okay.
She rented to this guy for about 14, 15 months, and then she got rid of him. She didn't tell me the reason why, but she got rid of this guy. And he was being a nuisance or something. And then she said she'd be watching TV and she'd see him in the bushes. So she phoned the police. They'd come out, he'd be gone. This kept going on and on and on. And then eventually they caught him. And
okay.
yeah, they caught the guy. And that was that. So she was like, oh, thank God for that, because he used to like live in the end here, and he, you know, I had to get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, about an hour later, one of the policemen comes back, knocks on the door again, and said, look, we have to tell you by law, this guy that we found in your garden that you used to rent a house out for used to work for MI5, and we have to tell you.
No way.
Yeah. So there you go. MI5 knew all about it. They obviously put a man in there, get all the information about what was going on. She got rid of him. Obviously, he still wanted to know what was going on, so he kept coming back. That's what he was doing in the bushes.
Yeah, man, this is
with his equipment, and whatever.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. He used to work for MI5. Yeah.
So I wonder what came first. You know what I mean? Was it her experience that got them involved, or did they know about these UFOs?
Well, I think what happened was when she started seeing this stuff, then obviously word got out somehow, because she then went up. She went up to Leeds the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They had a 3-day UFO expo up there. All the big ufologists were up there. I mean, I wasn't at the time. I went public in 2011, so I didn't. Up until that point, I was doing all like on my own sort of thing. And so she, she went up there and saw the other big knobs that were up there, all the other big guys, but no one was interested. And she took videos up with her and stuff, but they said, oh, I can't see anything on that. I'm not interested. So, and she went to the doctor. The doctor gave her sleeping pills. That wasn't helping, And she kept seeing these things, walking around a garden, doing these experiments, craft flying over, taking up soil and water and so on. And then one morning she heard in her living room, she had beautiful lacquered Chinese furniture. Oh, it's lovely. And she heard this noise, something had fallen over. So she thought it was a burglar. So she goes in to investigate with a baseball bat. And there's this squid walking around, not walking, but literally like with its suckers going all over her furniture, like a squid-like creature. Yeah. So she opens the French doors, shoos it out, and it left prints everywhere. So she was rubbing all the prints off, and then she thought, well, hang on, if it was an extraterrestrial, this is DNA, right? So she left one print, which was on the French doors.
Of course. And
I had a photo of it, and it's just like a thumbprint, but it's like lines going down like that, all the same, going all the way down like that. And that was one of the suckers that it had. But she said the thing was quite large. She had to battle with it to get it out. Now, you couldn't make this stuff up, right? You just couldn't make this stuff up.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking, why wouldn't these other ufologists, researchers not want to work with her if her evidence is so easy to see? And they said, oh, there's nothing there.
I think what it was, because she was telling him stuff like this, because I think this had already happened at this point. I think they got to a stage where they thought, look, come on, this is just too nuts. And they just dismissed it, I think. I think that was the problem. It was too far-fetched for them to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And then maybe the videos that she showed her weren't that great. That she showed them weren't that great. So they put that with the story of aliens walking around a garden and, taking the cat.
Sure, yeah.
They're going to, we're not interested. Bye. She went to their... I won't say the guy's name. He's a ufologist still today working. And she went to the hotel where he was staying, knocked on his door. It was quite late at night, 9 o'clock at night. But he said he'd see the video. So he showed her the video. She showed him the video now, and he just dismissed it. It was quite horrible to her. And so she, she's quite despondent about the whole thing. So I had to be very careful how I dealt with it. And then...
It's got to be something wrong with it then for people to say,
And then we're sitting down like this in the sofa in her living room, right? And she's opposite me, telling me actually about the squid thing.
Yeah.
And then she went, whoa, are you feeling all right, Rich? And I went, yeah, I'm fine. She said, you sure? You just had a heart attack, or because because you look a bit pale. And I went, no, I'm okay. I said, well, you know, I'm fine. She said, well, your middle sphere just flatlined. And I went, sorry? She goes, your middle sphere just flatlined. I said, I've never seen that before. I went, okay, right. And I'm like, what does she mean? What do you mean sphere? So she explained to me that all of us have 3 spheres above our heads, 3 balls. And when we're sat down like this, like now, they'll be up in the corner of my living room. As soon as I get up to go, they all go together like a string of pearls.
Yeah.
And they're with you for your whole life. And when you die, they sever and then they float up and they're gone. Animals have 1 on their back. So a dog, a cat has 1.
It sounds like the video game The Sims, you know, where they always have the icon above their head, tells them what to do.
Because she says she can tell how many people are in a car because they're not actually here. They start about here and then go another one and then another one. So she said they're above the roof of the car.
Right.
So she knows that there's 2, 3 or 4 people in a car. And she said apparently the middle one, if you do something bad, it goes dark grey. If you do something really bad, like kill or, you know, whatever, it goes black. And I said, right, okay. She said, would you like to see your sphere? So she gets a camera and takes a photograph of me. Oh, no, she told me to stand up. That's right. So I stood up and they all go together and she took a photograph. And there they were, right? And so she blows it up with the camera. Don't forget, this is 2011. So the cameras weren't great back then, but they were still okay. Yeah. So she blows it up and it's weird. It's got like a membrane in it. On mine, anyway, it had like a twig. It looked like a twig. That's what it reminded me of. So it went up like that, and then it went into an angle like that, and there was something coming off it. And we had like blood cells, and there was a bit of blue in there, and a bit of green in there. I don't know. It was all sorts of shit in there. And she said, right, so think of something bad. I'll take another photograph, and I'll prove to you it goes dark grey. Well, I had a laser pen that I brought with me, but she told me I wasn't allowed to use it because she didn't want to upset the ETs. So I thought about using the laser pen that night because I was there for the weekend. And so she took another photograph and she goes, there you go. And the middle sphere was dark grey. So we have a light grey one and 1 photograph. And now we've got a dark grey one.
You sure it's not just the camera, you know, the lens?
I don't have a cell phone. I still don't have one to this day. I don't keep one because I feel like they can track you and stuff with it. But I borrowed one of my girlfriend's for that weekend. So I said, can I use my phone? And she said, yeah, I tell you what, you take a photo of my spheres. So I took a photograph of Nina and bang, there they were. Of course, when I got back home, we did it all. And of course, you don't catch the spheres. But I'll tell you why I think that is in a minute. She said, my driver stayed in the house as well. Like a manservant, does the shopping for her and stuff as well and helps her with stuff. He came in one day, and because she can see this all the time, don't forget, and she saw that his middle sphere had gone dark grey. So she knew he'd done something wrong. It turned out that he'd stolen some money from her or something. But I'm thinking, my God, you could use this in court, couldn't you? You know what I mean? There's no way you could lie. You know, you're going to know if this guy killed this woman, right? And I'm thinking, wow, I just can't believe this is happening. And anyway, apparently my middle one is flatlined. And she said, Richard, I sometimes sit here and I look at myself in the mirror and I just watch my spheres as they're bobbing around in the ether. And I'm thinking, God, what is going on with this woman, you know? I said, there's got to be more to the look about her. I don't know. It was just weird. I couldn't explain it. And every time I spoke to her, I had this euphoria come over me. It's hard to explain.
Some people have the look, though, that fits the part. You know?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So,
I mean, some people may say she was a magician and it was all done for my benefit. But if it was, she's a bloody good magician. That's all I can say. Because I don't know how she did it. If she tricked me, I don't know how she did it. I honestly don't know. I really don't.
That's why, you know, what brings caution to the story is that the other people turned her away, because there may be something that we don't understand about what she's seeing. Because to me, it sounds like could be making stuff up. The camera thing. So that means I could take a picture of myself now and see, oh man, I just got hit in the face with a fly. That's been happening the last couple of nights. That was actually very funny considering what's been going on. So I can take a picture of myself and see these three things at any time,
Well,
you're saying?
Yeah, when I got back, okay, after that weekend, I had to leave the next day. I wanted to stay that night, but unfortunately I couldn't. But my friend got there and luckily was able to see that video. But when I got home on the Sunday, I did a bit of research about where our house was in Devon. And I found out through a map maker, a friend of mine, because he did the research for me and really got back to me on it, that the Michael and Mary ley lines run straight through her property. They're the most powerful ley lines in England. And they went straight through her property and they go on to Stonehenge. That's where they end up. Now, I think that these ley lines actually helped. So when she took the photographs and with the other stuff I was seeing as well, helped produce all this. And that's why when I came home here to Weston-super-Mare, where I live, and we did the same thing with the cameras, nothing happened. But later on, I did try it out the back one night with my daughter on a trampoline. And guess what? I got her spheres. So I think you've got to be in the right time. It's got to be the right atmosphere. I don't know, maybe electricity in the air or something, you know. I don't know.
Well, yeah. So,
but, yeah.
So now what's this lady doing now? Do you have any idea?
Okay, well, after that weekend,
okay,
back in 2011, yep, I kept talking to her on and off for the next year. And she'd ring me up and say, Richard, there's a craft that's landed in my field. The door's open. I can see the occupants. I think they want me to go over. I said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go over? And she said, I don't know what to do. I'm looking out the window and I can see them. And I said, well, Nina, it's up to you. But if you feel like you should go, go. I said, look, back in the 50s, something very similar happened. There are accounts of flying saucers landing down in farmers' fields, and they're basically taking these farmers for a ride. They take them up, they take them around, they drop them back down again, and that's it, and then they go. And I think they were preparing us for the time when they were going to come down. But then obviously there was interaction with the government and never happened. But we used to get these cases a lot where they would land in farmers' fields, you know, or people's back gardens and had big fields they could land in. And they would do this. They would take you for a trip. There's lots of documents about that. So I said, maybe this is, because that's what it reminded me of. Maybe this is what's happening here. But I said, I don't want you to go across if you don't want to. Because I didn't want anything to happen to her, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
So in the end, she didn't go. Anyway, the phone call stopped after about 1.5 years. So I'd phone her. No answer. And then the phone went dead. And now I lost contact with her completely. I still got her address. I still know where she lives. So I did a bit of research on Google Earth, found a house. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you go on Google Earth and you go up to the sky, there's a massive, big, huge grey sphere above our house when the photograph was taken. Whether that's, you know, got anything to do with that or not, I don't know.
It might be the stitching of the Google Earth or something.
Yeah, I mean, could be just an anomaly, yeah. But when we looked at the photographs, there was a guy coming out of her driveway in a Jeep, and I didn't recognize him. So because she was telling me that she was going to sell the property. She had enough. She had it all done up. And I know this because when I was talking to her on the phone, she said, I got the workmen in it, and that's why you can hear banging Richard in the background. They got all like, you know, they're doing stuff to the house. She said, I feel like I want to sell it. I want to get out of here. I've had enough. She said, I just take it for granted now. She said, I got used to it, but I've had enough. I said, well, Nina, how do you know they're not going to follow you? And she said, no, I think they're here in the property. I think it's the house. She said, it's the area. So I think she's moved on, and I think someone else now owns the property. But it'll be interesting to see if they see it. So I was going to go down with some guys, you know, some fellow ufologists, and we were going to go down for the weekend and do a sortie and get some 4K drones. And if we can't physically stay there, if he doesn't want us to stay there for the weekend, like Nina did, then we can maybe fly drones over the top of the property and see if we can see stuff.
Yeah.
You know, bit of like stuff on the side, like that MI5 guy was doing, but not actually in the bushes. So it's worth definitely going back down there. Absolutely. And that's what we're going to be doing this summer.
You know, that reminds me of the guy out here, or the people who used to live on Skinwalker Ranch. You know, it's you just have to, if you want to believe it without having the evidence. But I mean, what you saw was unbelievable.
There's too much going on down there for it, you know. And then and then there was a big light in the tree, and I thought it was a craft landing, and it didn't land. It just went across like this, and it was huge, massive, big round light. like you get off a lighthouse, but it was staged. It was solid. It wasn't flashing. It wasn't moving in that respect. Like it wasn't revolving around, but it was moving through the trees like this.
Mm-hmm.
We got that on video as well. And Nina seemed to think that it was probably a craft, but she hadn't seen that before either. That was a new one on her. But the cat disappearing and the soil going up and the water going, well, I didn't see the water, but you know, with the evidence of the water being low again, and
but
seeing that.
You believe her though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I think so. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm a pretty good judge of character. I mean, if someone's playing with me or something like that, you know, I usually I'm old enough now to sort of see all the signs, you know, of just psychology and stuff. So I'm pretty good about knowing whether somebody's pulling a fast one or not. Like I said, if she did a very good job of it.
Yeah.
A very, very, very. I mean, how could she tell me there were beams coming down at a 45-degree angle, which I couldn't see? There was nothing there, but the camera picked it up, the night vision picked it up. And then when they started to move around the back of the building, she told me before I had chance to tell her, she told me. And, you know, we got this interaction going, you know, I mean, how can you fake that? I've been trying to, you know, go through my mind. Let's look at it from like Sherlock Holmes would maybe look at it.
Yeah, right. That would be great.
But,
well, you know, these things are happening, no doubt about it. So we can't just say, oh, I'm not going to believe her because she's a little quirky, you know, but you know what? It takes that kind of mind sometimes to see these things, you know, where other people, they're just closed-minded, just work, family, sleep, eat, work, family, sleep, eat, and they don't look around. I think that's what it is. So I want to jump. We're going so fast already. What is your thought about, I think I heard you on another interview talking about crop circles. You believe they're communicating to us through the crop circles, right?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of research on that, but I've got a friend, ufologist, who's done a lot of research on it, and we all know that some of them are man-made, but a lot of them aren't. The intricate ones that would be impossible for you to fake anyway. Yeah, I think they're a communication of some sort.
Oh, the only reason I was bringing it up because it all started out where you live in that area. I think
that's right.
I mean, 70s.
I know guys that have flown over doing a postal delivery, gone over this field where there was nothing, and then 20 minutes later they've come back and there's a crop circle there. I mean, there's no way. I mean, come on, there's, you know,
can't do it.
And this isn't daylight. I mean, as well, this isn't at
true.
nighttime. So yeah, and that got me interested when I heard that story, and I know the guy, so I know he wasn't, you know, lying about it.
But
I think there's spheres. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think there's spheres that are doing it. I know there's this video going around where they say it's fake, where you see the spheres going into a field and they produce a crop circle, and I'm not sure about it either. But I'll tell you something, Rich. There's another video with a similar sort of thing without a crop circle being made, which was filmed by a very good friend of mine. And this was definitely flying around in a field. And it looked like it was going to make a crop circle, and then it flew off. But I've seen these spheres, so I know they're real.
Yeah.
They're out there 24/7. They interact with planes, and they, you know, and like I said, you know, you can see them during the daytime as sure as you can see them at nighttime quite easily. With a camcorder and a infrared filter on the front, put it to night shot, set zoom to infinity, then pan the sky very slowly when there's no weather and it's all blue, and you'll see one. You go, whoa, and then just record, and then just see what it does and watch it. And I got a guy on his roof in Australia that did that for 2.5 years. And he's got stacks of tapes. We used to do that every day. But the weather out there is great. So, you know, and he was catching them. And you see them like on their own or in 2s or 3s. And a plane will go by, and then they'll go up behind the plane, and they'll go in and out of the contrails, which is why sometimes you see contrails and they're all wispy, because the spheres are going in and out and causing it to do that. There'll be gaps where they've taken some of the contrail. They'll go on the wing of the plane. They'll go under the engine block of the plane. I've got a lady in London who I talked to called June Miller. Check her out on YouTube, June Miller.
All right.
These videos are on there. She lives near Heathrow Airport. She said, Richard, they're coming. The gear is down, okay? And the sphere is under the actual undercarriage of the plane. And she said, watch. She said, as the plane comes in, it comes away like a bomb dropping, she said, and then she's got it. Actually, this one's happening as it's flying over. It's the 737, I think. And then you've got the Shard in the distance. Okay, it's the city of London.
Yeah.
And the sphere is going down the side of the Shard like that to street level, and then it disappears.
Oh, I got to see that. That's on.
And they're coming in. She said underneath the undercarriage, because she doesn't know, but she assumes it's because the radar can't pick them up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. June Miller.
Yeah, check her out. They're on there. The videos are on there.
That's amazing on YouTube. Okay.
And you can see that actually happening.
I can't wait. Yeah, that we'll
And she's another lady like Nina. And she's invited me out there as well. She's getting stuff all the time. She's getting what she calls these critters. They're like life forms, and so they come quite close to her. And they got like heartbeats, and you can see blood.
I can't believe you. Oh my God, I can't believe you're telling me this right now.
Yeah, I have videos of these as well.
Yeah, because I have one. I call it the jellyfish man, because it looks like it's doing this and doing sign language.
Right.
It's bizarre. I watched it come to me. It did a little bit of this, and it was really weird. I played the video the other night, and you can't tell, but people are saying, no, it's a bag, a shopping bag. I'm like, no, it's not. I saw it with my own eyes. I got it on video, and it's still not good enough. But I would like somebody to look at that, because I believe some of these things live in our atmosphere.
Right, but she has got a video of Batman. Of a man, of a man with a wing, right, coming in. Yeah. Now, opposite, she's got this skyrise flats being built at the moment. And it came in and it landed. It was a huge, big, looked like a bird, but it had like a man, like there's features of a man. Came in behind the building, landed on top of the roof. And she said, where the windows haven't been fully made yet, you can see it walking past the roof. And then she's there like this, right, watching to see what it does.
Wow.
Flies off.
That can be found on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on there. It's on YouTube.
What channel is it? Do you know?
June Miller.
That's her too? Okay.
Yeah, it's called, she's called June Miller, but the YouTube video is called UFO over London or something like that. UFO London.
All right.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm just gonna write that down, because I will forget. All right. Wow, this is unreal. Do you think the UK though has? I think, and this is my opinion, I think the UK has more genuine footage than what comes from the US. Do you feel the same way?
I think this last few years, definitely. Yeah, I think. And again, by the way, these Michael and Mary ley lines go through her property as well. So again, this probably helps, maybe, I don't know.
It has to.
Yeah. And I think because, with our country, it goes back with the old, times with all the stuff that used to go on. And I think now with people who've got the technology, who've got these amazing cell phones, and they've got these tablets and all that, they've got stuff on them all the time. And I think more people are looking up to the sky now than they've ever done before. So this is, and of course, with our lockdown at the moment, everything's even better still, At the moment, the skies are going absolutely wild with stuff. I mean, it's crazy out there at the moment.
In Arizona, it's not. I'm not seeing anything. I'm out every night, or almost every night. Yeah, since the lockdown.
Oh, Rich, we're getting loads of stuff over here. I'm getting people sending me stuff from all over the country in the UK, and they're seeing stuff nearly every night. I mean, okay, I know we're getting these, the Skylink thing. People are going, oh yeah, they're UFOs now. We know all that, but they are seeing other stuff as well. They're seeing.
Well, yeah, and I take it back a couple. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What was that?
No, I was just saying I'm getting genuine photos of people going out now and getting night visions and catching these triangle craft that their sphere is made into a shape of a triangle, and they're flying really fast through the sky. You may have seen these.
I have. It's very cool. Yeah.
Well, we're getting them a lot over here at the moment, and that is such a cool thing to see. It's like, wow, I mean, that is cool.
I haven't seen them. I don't know if you met me, not me personally, but I've seen the videos of somebody catching them. Yeah. And it's remarkably fast. I don't know how they even saw it, to be honest.
Well, this is it. You just got to literally just hope to God you get something in where you're looking at that part of the sky, because the sky is so big, and these things aren't that big, and you field of view.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to wait. But I usually find where I am, the northeast is the best place to look, or straight up. Northeast or straight up.
Straight up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. But that's true. That's funny. It's true though. For me, it would be the east or straight
okay.
up. Yeah.
There you go.
That's weird. Yeah, well, that's kind of where Nevada is. You know, I'm in Arizona, so well, northeast, north. wait, where am I? I'm in Arizona. So, do you have a lot of military bases out where you live?
Not now. We did have, but not anymore. I think my nearest military base is probably about 100 miles away from here, maybe 150. But I do see them occasionally. The helicopters flying around, you know.
Did they do the fly around that the world is reopening? Did you guys do anything like that, like we did yesterday or 2 days ago?
No. Don't think
Yeah,
so.
our over Arizona, I think it was everywhere, was doing it. In New York, California, they flew around with F-18s in a like a 2 in the front and 1 off to the side as a salute to reopening the country, I guess.
Oh, I see.
And
yeah.
It was so loud. It was amazing when they flew over, because it actually sounded like I thought they were going to start dropping bombs. You know, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to bomb us. That's how low they were. But it was amazing.
We're still on lockdown at the moment, total lockdown.
Well, I think we've opened up something like 30 states or something. I'm not sure, but
I think we will soon. I think in the next few weeks we'll be back to sort of not normal, but we'll, you know.
Do you think this the lockdown helped or hurt ufology?
No, I think it's helped, definitely, in a way.
How so?
You know, well, because the skies have gone crazy over here, or for us anyway. They've gone crazy over here, and I think it's because there's less planes flying, and the weather's improved. When we don't get rainy nights, we get really good clear skies now, and we're just seeing so much stuff, you know, and during the daytime as well. These spheres that are normally up at 20,000-30,000 feet, they're coming down now. They're coming down quite low, so you can see them. You know, you don't need anything special for that if they're low enough. The only reason why I'm saying you want to get an infrared filter is because when they're high up, it gets rid of all the crap that's in the air, and you can get to see them properly. You know, and then you can zoom in, and then you can see what they do. But they're not hidden or anything. You know, I mean, you can see them if they come down low enough with the naked eye. And I used to see them quite a lot at night, bobbing over people's houses, you know. So yeah, we're getting a lot more of that at the moment. So for us over here, the lockdown's helped a hell of a lot. I'm getting so many people coming in, sending me videos and stuff, saying what they caught in the back garden, what they've seen, you know, when they've been out for their walks and stuff, which, you know, I don't normally get. I mean, I get stuff sent to me, but not on this level. So for us, it has definitely helped. Yeah.
Yeah, the air pollution has been remarkable. We're not even seeing any clouds. That's how clear it is. It's bizarre. Yeah. So what is your process, or what do you use to see stuff during the day?
Okay, during the daytime, you just get an old camcorder off eBay for about $60-70 with a night shot. So it's got to have night shot on it, and it must have a screw thread lens on the front. A lot of them don't have that.
I'll show you guys. It's this one, right?
That's it. That's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. This has the night shot on the side.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, the lens here, and
the
viewfinder. It's a high 8.
That's it. And then you can. Well, the great thing about them as well is when you see them, you can record them, and then you can show your friends, your family, and your relatives what you've seen. You've got it all there, you know. Yeah,
it opens up. I mean, obviously everybody's seen them, but I do not think, you know, yes, it is research, but I think proper research should be done with an actual camera and not your cell phone.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
I figured you would, because you know about these old school cameras. I think they're better than digital.
I do too, and they show so much more. I think personally with the detail. Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Go out and go on eBay and get yourself a Canon or something like that, and and get yourself a very good quality. This is quite important. The filter's got to be a good quality. A Massa 750 or 850. Okay, they're not going to be cheap. They're going to be about $70, $80 in your money. But trust me, it's worth every penny. Screw that on the end of the lens, then set your zoom to infinity, go to night shot, even though you're doing it during the daytime. And then just slowly pan the sky. Within 30 seconds, you'll catch one. I guarantee you. And then just watch it and see what it does.
Wait, you're using night shot during the day?
Yeah.
I thought you burn out your lens by doing that, so I never did it.
No, that's fine. You can do it. That's fine.
You're kidding me.
No. That way then, because you're using night shot, you get it in the detail and everything, and you can see it absolutely.
Oh, this is amazing now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you've got to have night shot on. You must have night shot on. Yeah.
I do. Well, I mean, I thought you were asking me if I had night shot. Yeah, I have it. I've just, when you turn it on, the screen it gets very bright.
Yeah,
during the day.
You need the filter on the front.
Right. So I never I never put any filter.
Oh, yeah,
I had filters.
Yeah, you must have the filter on the front. Don't do it without the filter on, otherwise it won't work. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel, I can't believe I haven't done that. I think that's laziness on my part, maybe because
everyone hearing this, that's all you got to do. So for about $100,
that's amazing.
$100, you'll see it and you can record it, and you'll catch the bug, and you'll be out there every day, and you'll be recording these things, and you'll want to know what they're doing, and you'll see them in 2s or 3s or on their own, and they'll go off and do stuff, or they'll just hover there.
Yeah, my goal was always to not do that on the camera. My goal was always to buy the equipment that is made for that type of shooting. So I never got around to it. I'm trying to recall why I would never use that technique, and but that is fantastic.
Yeah, and this is the technique. Like I said, this guy out in Australia was the one that told me about this years ago. And then, funny enough, June Miller was seeing these spheres as well, and then she caught on to how to get them. So it works. Trust me, guys, it works 100%.
I'm very excited for tomorrow because I'm going to go out tomorrow to a spot, and I'm going to use my filters and see what I can catch. Man, this is great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so where can we find your stuff?
Okay, at the moment I'm only on Facebook, but we're starting up a YouTube channel called The Truth Seekers. And at the moment it's up and running, but we just got a promo video on there at the moment, but we will start putting stuff up soon.
Is it on YouTube or is it
yeah, it's on YouTube.
And it's Truth Seekers, all one word?
The Truth Seekers, 3 separate words. The Truth Seekers.
The Truth Seekers, 3 separate words. Okay, because if you're starting out, they don't put you in the search, and and you gotta. It's hard to find you, but that I'm excited to see all this stuff. You're, man alive. So for 30 years, what do you? When you were young. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to go back.
No, I was just going to say, and then I had my pinnacle evening where and then I think, well, do I tell people this story or don't I, because it goes off to another crazy part of my life.
I understand that.
You've heard of the Glastonbury Festival, right? In Glastonbury in the UK, that does a 4 or 5 day event where they get massive big stars, and they like the Who,
Oh yeah,
Queen.
okay,
and you got tents and all that, and you'll camp out, right. Well, the guy that sets all that up, one of the guys that used to set it all up, was called Rod, and he lives in that area, obviously, because that's where he works. And he's like me; he's seen craft come down, believe it or not, with a TV screen that comes out, and then all this sort of goes across it, and then it turns into English, and it talks to him, and he's seen all sorts of stuff. He's seen these spheres, and he's seen other stuff as well. So I'm in this pub because I met him. It was all arranged. I met this guy called Rod in this pub in the street in Somerset. We have 1 pint of Guinness, and he's telling me all these stories. And he said, "Rich, do you want to see fairies?" And I said, "What, real fairies?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "It's a good night tonight. It's not raining. There's no wind, because they don't like rain and they don't like wind. Okay, trust me, apparently." So I said, "Yeah, go for it. I'm up for that. I'll take out fairies anytime." So he said, "Right." He said, "Get in your car, follow me." And he bombs off at 100 miles an hour. So I'm trying to keep up with him. We're going through in and out of all these different roads. It's nighttime, okay? So I know Street pretty well. I know Somerset, I know Glastonbury, but he was just taking me all over the shop. Anyway, eventually we come to this little road with trees going over like that, okay? Like a canopy. And off to the side, there's this a little gravel bit that goes up to a wooden fence. So he parks his car there. So I'm up behind him, I park mine. He gets out, he said, this is it. This is the field where they are. He said, we can go in here now. So as we climb over the fence, only a small little fence, I noticed on there's badges. So it's a national trust, okay? So it should be nicely protected. You know, you can't walk your dog on it or anything like that. So we walk over, there's a bit of bracken, and then we're out, and we're, you know, and we're in this field. It's all open. We're high up, we're above sea level. I can see Taunton in the distance, okay, which is a city near to where I live. And he said, yeah, that's Taunton over there. I said, right, okay, I know roughly where I am now. He said, Glastonbury's back that way. So we're in between. Okay, and at the bottom of this field is a wooded area. And that's it. And there's beautiful stars around. He said, right, well, they're not here. I went, oh, okay. He said, I thought they might be. He said, every time I come up here and it's a night like this, they're always here. So we're like humming and hawing around. I'm looking up, doing a bit of sky watching, although I don't have my night visions with me. And anyway, 3/4 of an hour go by. We're chatting about things we've seen in the past and stuff. He's telling me stories and stuff he's seen. And then he goes, hang on a minute, Rich, what's that over there? And in this wooded area, there was a light and it was just shining up like that. And he said, I think that might be a car headlight. Come on, let's go investigate. So we ran towards the wooded area because he's never seen this before. And it wasn't a car, it was a plasma ball hovering about 20 feet off the ground. Now I've seen these when I've been out in my back garden, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning, these things come along and they hover over people's like roofs and then fly off. So I said to Royal, I said, plasma ball. I said, they're incredible. I said, they just like hover there. I said, I know lots of people have seen them, you know, in the middle of the afternoon, they're hanging out the washing and there's this ball that looks like a little mini sun and it's crackling and, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing is there. So Rod goes, I want to take a photo of that. He's never seen one before, right? He's seen all this other stuff, but he's never seen a plasma ball like this, like, you know. Anyway, thing shoots up and it's gone, right? It's gone up into space, gone. And it's all gone dark again. And they went, ah, damn. And then we look down, I look down and I see all these little green dots everywhere. Like thousands of them. I said, what the hell are these? Fireflies or something? He goes, no, these are the fairies. He said, they must have come in this plasma ball. He said, I've never seen them at night time before like this. He said, they glow green. And we said, like fireflies. Well, we don't get fireflies in England anyway. And I'm like, well, I'm stepping on them. And he goes, oh, no. He said, don't worry about that. They go down into the earth. He said, have a look, Rich. Get down on your knees and have a look. So I'm getting down on my knees and they're in groups of 3s or 4s or on their own. And they're all huddled up like this, yeah? Okay. Literally, yeah. I'm not joking, like this.
Yeah.
Like you see in the cartoons, you know?
Yeah.
And they seem to have some sort of like garment on or some kind, but they're so small, it's really hard to sort of like take it all in. So after about 10 minutes, I'm like looking at one and I think I'm going to go and pick one up. So I go down very close to one where it was on its own, like this seat, and I go to pick it up and it goes down into the soil, like it's in an elevator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And Rod goes, yeah, they won't let you pick them up. You've got to like stay still and they'll come up and fly on you, you know, they go in your hair and all that stuff, but you've got to let them come to you. You can't go to them. So I back off and then they come back up again. And I was like, absolutely bizarre. And the only thing I can like describe it as, you know, fiber optics on a dance floor.
Sure.
You know, like, that's what it looked like. And this field was quite big. And no word of lie, Rich. They were literally, for the eye could see, they were everywhere.
That's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they must have come from this ball because obviously they weren't there before, right? But this guy, Rod, had never seen them before. He's always gone to that field and they've either been there or they haven't been there. And he's tented out there apparently, and they come into the tent and they go on you and all that. But he said during the daytime they got skin color, you know, the normal, like, but at night time they glow green.
That's
I had a phone on me again. I borrowed my girlfriend's cell phone because I was thinking I might see something that night. So I took some photos of it. But unfortunately, I didn't have macro on the phone, and it came out with little green triangles.
Yeah.
But that's your fairy. So that's obviously where the idea of the story of Tinkerbell and where it comes from. And apparently Rod says he communicates through, because obviously they're too tiny, you can't talk to them. He says he talks to them through his mind. He said he's been seeing these things for years. And I have seen the photos. He's been with Prince Charles and Princess Diana when she was alive. And he's actually, because they came to the Glastonbury Festival, he actually took them up to this field. He's also taken Australian rugby players, 7 foot tall guy. He was massive. And one landed on his shoulder and he went down like a tree. literally, like, he just went out. He fainted.
I'd be afraid I'd step on one.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was stepping on them. You can't hurt them. I was stepping on them. I was. They were all over the place, and they go into the soil. You can't hurt them.
Oh wow, okay.
Well, that's how I saw it. And
Yeah,
Roger,
yeah.
You can't hurt them, because that's what I was thinking. I was killing them, you know. But no.
That's unbelievable, man.
Well,
that's wild.
And then we decided to go. And that was it. We left the ferries in the field. Beautiful, okay, clear sky. I said, Rod, how the hell do I get out of here? He said, 6 minutes that way, and you'll be back on the M5 motorway to get home. So I bomb it down because I'm not sure where I am, and then I get my bearings again. I hit the motorway. As soon as I'm on my motorway back home, hailstones. And there's noise on the car, and I'm like, what the hell's that? Someone's throwing stones at the car, and it was hailstones. Where the hell did that come from? I mean, there was no weather. And then 6 minutes, 7 minutes later, weird night.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
When was this?
This would have been about 2015. Yeah.
Not that long ago.
No, about 5 years ago, yeah. And I've been back so many times to that field to find the field. I can't find it, Rich. I cannot find that field. I know roughly where it is, right? Because it was night time, and I worked for my bearings from when I was going back to the motorway. So I'm backing it from that way because I can't do it from the other way because it was literally, there was no way I could remember all that. But I can't find that field. I just can't find it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
I want to see them during the daytime, you see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I cannot find that field at all.
So are they confined to that field or what?
Well, okay, Rod says, I asked him a bit about, look, what have they told you? Apparently they come from Belgium. They don't like rain. They don't like wind. So if it's raining or it's windy, they're not going to turn up anyway. And I said to Rod, why Belgium? He said, I don't know. They won't tell me.
Yeah.
That's where they come from.
That's it. That's why, yeah. That's just where they come from. They got to come from somewhere, yeah.
And that's all he knows about these fairies. Yeah.
Wow, this is unbelievable stuff, man. You see
little tiny beings with wings huddled up in clubs of 3s, 4s on their own. And obviously the ones that were in 3s or 4s, they were obviously bigger green, I mean, you could see. I mean, I had to go for a pee, right? I'm peeing up against this tree and there's fairies all around me. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. Honestly, Rich, everything I've told you tonight is 100%.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. I haven't made any of it up. None of it. It's all 100% as I saw it, as I perceived it.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It's how you perceived it. It's your reality. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Same thing with my experiences. Heck, it's happening to me. I can't say it's real or fake. All I know is that this is what's happened, and this is the truth as I know it. And I understand that. I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't used to get it in the earlier, even like a couple of years ago, I still had a hard time with it, but I'm beginning to open up to that. Look, everybody could be their own universe as far as we know, it could be reality for you. And this is my reality. And,
exactly.
And we all are on the earth, which the people believe the earth. I think it is. It's alive. And it could be like a hive-minded sphere that we all live on. And we just don't know how to use it right.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to do.
I mean, if someone was to tell me that a 20-foot robot was walking down my seafront, I'd probably believe them now, because I've seen so many crazy things.
You might, yeah.
I might think, well, this could be true, You never know.
It could be. You would have to say, yeah, maybe it is. So I'm going to go look.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas before, I just dismiss it as this guy's nuts,
So you have been around a while, and you've done all the TV shows, radio, everything. What do you see?
I've spoken to astronauts that have told me stuff, even off air when I've been on the phone. I used to do the radio shows over the phone. And yeah, the things they used to tell me, they said, Rich, we had stuff following us all the way to the moon, or we couldn't tell NASA. We couldn't tell them at Cape, Mission Command, because obviously they'd probably scrap the mission. But he said they were following us. We saw them while we were on the moon. We were being watched. We had that feeling, like a feeling I had of being watched.
Yeah.
We had lights up in the sky that were looking at us. Apparently, from what one of the astronauts told me, the Apollo, I think it was the first one, Apollo 11, with Neil Armstrong. It was they were supposed to have been there a lot longer. I think it was supposed to have been, they were supposed to have been there for about 3 days or something. It ended up being a splash and dash. They called it splash and dash because there was so much stuff going on. They had to get, they did what they did, and they got the hell out of there real quick. I mean, I think there's a lot more to this than meets the eye, if you believe that we went there at all. But I do believe we did, and I do believe that there's stuff on there, and I can give you some little bit of reasoning why I think this, because these spheres that I see, there was one that we saw, and it was called, well, I call it a dumbbell sphere. That's what we've nicknamed it, because it's like 2 spheres with a little bit in between, and it was flying around. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, it was flying up and it went into space. Now, I got a guy called John Wolfson. I don't know if you've heard of him. He catches these space stations that are in deep space.
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
Well, John got this through his vet. He's got a massive, huge telescope, and we're talking like, you know, huge.
Yeah.
And he caught this thing through the telescope as well. So he actually followed it, and it left Earth, and it was heading towards the moon, our moon. That's how he tracked it. And we've also got video of spheres coming out of the crater Aristarchus, literally coming out of it and flying towards Earth. And we got spheres coming out of the Earth, flying towards the moon. So there's a connection there, definitely, you know. And this isn't fake. This is real. I mean, this is really happening. This is really happening. In fact, John, only 3 nights ago, was observing the moon, just because he wanted, you know, to look at the moon, like close up at the craters and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had a little sphere coming up out of the moon, coming out in space, literally. Came real slow, but it was coming up, you know, and it left the moon, and then it was in black space. So we had moon here, space, and then the sphere.
Yeah.
And he watched it, you know, as it was like going up, and then it just went off. So we got these spheres that are going to the moon. We got these spheres coming off the moon. We got astronauts that have been to the moon and said they've seen stuff, that followed them, seen stuff while they were there, seen stuff when they were coming back, heard strange music around the back side of the moon and stuff like that, which, of course, as you know, you can't hear music in where there's no vacuum in space.
Oh yeah, when they went around,
yeah. Well, he confirmed that for me. We've heard about it, but
it just it didn't really sound like music more than like a weird signal or something. That, I mean, they were calling it music. I don't know why.
Yeah, they said, has anybody got any? He said opera music or something. It was like and everyone had country and western and stuff like that, and no one was playing any tapes at the time anyway. And it was coming from outside the capsule. They discovered, you know.
That's so
which,
bizarre.
Of course, yeah. So there's strange stuff going on there. The moon's definitely, there's something, you know. And anyway, that's what I believe. It could be a dormant spacecraft. It could be hollow.
It could be a lot of things, but it's not.
Yeah,
but it's so rare for what it is, its size, where it's positioned, and how big it is compared to the Earth, to other moons, to other planets. It's just so
theoretically,
not.
It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't
right.
be there. There's too much that's too perfect with it.
Really
that
is.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Earth. It's without the moon, there is no us, I believe, because the Earth would be spinning and wobbling, and there wouldn't be any stability for anything to maintain, to grow.
That's right. That's right.
You
the
know,
way it follows the Earth. That's why we never see the other side of the moon. We only ever see one side, because it obviously goes with us, which again is unusual. And you're right. It's like a wobble.
Position. Do you ever hear that?
No, I've not heard that. No.
Yeah, there was. I don't know where I've heard it a couple of times and I can't remember, but it was before the moon or something. I think that's the name of the video. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But before the moon, yeah.
Have you seen that video of the moon when it shimmers like it's a hologram?
The wave, the lunar wave.
Yeah.
I think that's just a camera anomaly.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I thought that too. But get this. Some people say we live in a hologram world, right?
Sure, yeah.
Get this. Okay. About 2 years ago, maybe 2.5, yeah, about 2.5 years ago. Night visions, watching stuff like usual. It was a very quiet night, and then all of a sudden, there's this I don't know, sphere thing flying through in space like this, and it jumps like that and carries on. Yeah. So
Like
it just
something-
glitches. It's a glitch, and then it carries on. Yeah, but nothing else glitches around it. None of the other stars glitch, so it's not the equipment. Okay, it's that's glitching. That's
Oh, I see what you're
yeah.
saying.
See what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you think? That we're in a matrix reality? I mean, because I almost want to say I believe it today. Tomorrow I may not, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's worth thinking about. Let's put it that way. I think it's worth keeping on the table. I'm more likely to go with that than saying that the world is flat. But
yeah, I know. Well, the reason I'm bringing that up because,
but you know, who knows, right?
Don't get me started on that one, man.
No.
The thing is, there's so many different things in this world. You know, you got your cryptids, you know, like Bigfoot and, you know, everything else, Mothman and Jersey Devil, Chupacabra, and so on, Montauk Monster. Then you have spiritual stuff. You've got aliens to talk about, sky worms. There's so many weird things that happen on this planet. It's like, where is reality? And you know, man, that's
I've got some information for you on that one, which you might be interested in. Because I've been doing some research on this. This is the other thing I research now because I've got into it, and it's something that's got to be researched. We know David Pilatus does all his stuff on it, but I've talked to this guy who used to be a ranger there, and he's seen stuff because he heard about the night vision stuff that I use and Ed Grimsey used and all that, and he was wondering whether he might see something, you know, through the night vision. So they had night visions with them. Well, not all of them did, but these guys did anyway, you know, when they were doing their like walk arounds and stuff. And they had the night visions out that night, and they were on infrared, and they caught this thing that was about 7 foot tall, some sort of you can only describe it, you know, Predator, the movie.
Yeah.
It was like that. So you had an outline of what looked like a man or something. And he said it was huge. It was big, about 7-8 feet tall. And it had that appearance like on the movie Predator. So it was like camouflaged with everything else. But you could see it moving, and it was moving real quick. But the camera picked it up. Don't know what it was. And they never saw it again. But I'm just saying it's a possibility that these things could be walking around or running around or whatever that we can't see with the naked eye. And then as soon as you're grabbed, you become invisible. Okay? And without the equipment, you're not going to see you. So in other words, your son could be right next to you, and then next minute he's gone. And that's what happens. They come up, grab, and then you're both gone.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I've also discovered recently, in fact, only this last week, that if you look at the map area of which David Pilatus has done, so credit to him, all the places, right, all the national parks, apparently Yosemite is the one where the most people go, like missing. We don't know why, obviously, but that happens to be so. So Yosemite is out of all the national parks is the one you want to try and avoid if you're going to go to any.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, you look at the map, okay? In the center, no one goes missing because mainly it's all desert.
Okay.
Okay, which makes sense, right? Then you take the map of all the caves underneath that area. It matches perfectly. There's caves underneath the ground, ex-military caves that used to be there years ago that I've only just discovered recently, and somebody else has discovered it and made a map of it and put it up. And if I've put it up on my Facebook page, you look at it, it's perfect. It matches it. So these things could be grabbing them and taking them under this cave system.
So how are they disappearing without being heard or seen?
Well, because I think if these beings that are hidden in the infrared spectrum, you obviously can't see them without the equipment, right? But as soon as you are grabbed, we can only assume, this is a theory, this is only a theory, okay?
Yeah.
That when you're touched by the being, you then become the same as the being. You then become that predator type. So you disappear. and there's no sound, no nothing, which is why people disappear right in front of you, and the ball's still bouncing. The little boy's gone,
Yeah.
your grandfather's gone, your mother's gone, whatever, you know. And we think now that they're being grabbed and taken into these cave systems,
Okay.
which are apparently underground. And did you also know that you're not allowed to fly a drone in any of your national parks in America? You'll get a fine of $50,000, and your drone will be taken away from you, and you can actually go up to 2 years in prison. Now, why is that?
All of the national parks?
All the national parks, it is illegal for you to fly a drone. Any national park in America.
Why would they not want us to do that and get an aerial view?
$50,000 fine if you are found doing that, or up to 2 years in prison, and you don't get your drone back.
So what are they trying to say? That from above and looking down, we might see something like an entryway or something in between the trees?
Could be. Well, you'd think, right? Out of anywhere in the world to fly a drone, a national park would be the best place, right? Wouldn't it?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, of course you can fly a drone here. Yeah, it's fine. But
yeah,
no.
why? Yeah, because there's nothing around. Yeah, you'd think it would be perfect.
Yeah. And you ask yourself, why is that? Check it out.
Did
you know the amount of money that is taken every year from people that go to national parks is in the billions, not the millions, but the billions. 2018, $4.9 billion was taken.
What do you mean taken?
Well, that's how much the national parks brought in.
Oh my gosh.
Year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how much money was taken that year. $4.9 billion. That's why they want to keep it under wraps. Because as soon as people get to hear properly about it, that, you know, that there may be something like this going on, rather than just people disappearing because they don't know where they are and they go off track, then obviously, you know, the money's not going to come in, is it, anymore? People aren't going to go and visit the national parks anymore. So you're not going to get this 4.9 or $4.7 billion every year that seems to be, these parks seem to be making at the moment.
So we're almost out of time here, just a couple of minutes left, and I knew it was going to go fast. So one last question I want to ask you before we go, and I think we might have to have you back on because there's so much to talk about. Where do you think the ufology is right now with, you know, the world events and everything? Do you think, and I know I asked earlier, but do you see disclosure within the next 10 years or ever? Where do you stand on that?
Well, yeah, I thought we were going to get disclosure in the next few years, but now I'm not so sure. I don't think we will for a while, for a long, long time.
Well, there's a reason why we haven't had it in 70 plus years.
Yeah. So why are we going to have it in the next 10 years? I don't think we will. No, I don't think we'll have disclosure. I think the governments are keeping it suppressed. I think there's something going on between the governments and the ETs, and I think this thing about this sort of like alliance thing, I think could be real.
Well,
and
that
that's the reason why they're taking people. I mean, I can't go into it now, but I know people have been taken and come back, and people have been taken and don't come back. And there's definitely something going on. I think it's there's a lot more to it. There's a big picture, what's going on. And you've just got to. There's so many different avenues you can go down, but it seems to fit. The jigsaw, the picture seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and I'm getting the pieces slowly and putting them in place, and I'm getting this picture. And if what I think is happening, I don't think we'll get disclosure anytime soon. No.
See, that makes me sad because I've been in it half as long as you've been in it, and
that's my own opinion. But I don't think we will.
But we haven't had it, so I'm kind of a little bit dejected. Am I just talking the talk at this point? I mean, what's the point of talking about it? It's just getting people aware of what's going on. I guess.
No. What you're doing is very important, and what everyone else is doing is important. The ufology world, keep it going because we need this. We do need this because if there was nobody like you or I or any of the other ufologists, then people would just think it's rubbish, and they wouldn't think about it. They go and think about something else, like how to put makeup on their face or something, and bring in millions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm not.
I know I can't even work that one out. You make a video about putting makeup on your face and you've got a mansion and rolls, and here you are talking about something slightly more important.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's
Yeah.
amazing the world we
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah, it's an amazing world. And that just shows you, to the majority of people, what's important and what's not. Makeup on your face is more important than the fact that you could have an ET in your garden at 3 o'clock in the morning.
God, I wish, I don't know, I wish a lot of stuff, but nothing's changed, you know, since I've been here in ufology since 2004. Nothing's changed.
A lot of people have been dumbed down by it. And I think you need people like you to keep it going, you know.
Well, thanks. I hope that's a correct statement. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. This was amazing. I know you're probably going to get some sleep now, but before we say goodbye, where can we find you one more time?
Okay, so if you hit me on Facebook, it's Richard Lennie, Lennie, then ufologist in brackets, or just Google me, Richard Lennie, ufologist, and I think I got the first 5 or 7 pages, and it'll show you all the stuff I've done. Magazines, books I'm in, TV, radio shows.
Well, this was great. I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. And I've just started up a YouTube channel, which isn't really up and running properly yet, but it's called The Truth Seekers.
3 words, The Truth Seekers. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate this. This was fun. It went by too fast, so I'd like to have you on again if you don't mind. And
yeah, that'll be great. Maybe. Yeah, later on, that'll be great when I've got some more information to tell you. I'd love to come on again. And thanks for having me, guys. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. And stay safe. And
you too. Yeah.
I'll keep in touch. Take care. Thanks.
Okay, cheers, Rich.
Cheers. I love cheers. I love saying that. Oh, that was so fast. I can't believe it. What a great guy. Yeah, you know, I saw what was being said in the chat room. It's a lot. But you know what? Yeah, he's had a lot of experiences. But that's what happens when you're in this a long time. You know, things happen. You don't expect it. You experience it. And that's life, whether you believe it or not. I'm sure he doesn't care. I don't care if you believe me, and other people who've had real experiences really don't care what other people think. We just want to get it out there. We want to see, where does this fit in the puzzle, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have Mr. Lennie on. I wanted to hear what he knows, personally look into his eyes, you know, and I feel he's being 100% truthful. He said it best. I believe this is happening to me, and it's my experience, and you know, can't convince people of anything anymore. Do your own research, which I know you won't, but you need to do your own research. And I've said this many a night. I think you need to experience stuff to really understand it. And I didn't understand a lot of things. I thought I did. And then when these weird things happen to you that you denied, they don't happen to anybody. Everybody's lying. But when it happens to you and you can't explain it, which is what just happened to me, I can't explain something that just happened. And I don't even want to talk about it. You know, it's a strange world we live in. And I think these experiences, whether you believe anything anybody says, this is a paranormal world. It's more paranormal than it is normal, in my opinion. And I enjoy being in this field. I do. I enjoy meeting people like Mr. Lennie and everybody else who'll be coming on the show and tell their story. And whether we believe them or not doesn't really matter to them. But they're brave enough to come on, talk publicly about it. No fear. It is what it is. The story doesn't change. And we want to believe Bob Lazar. You know what I'm saying? Monday. I don't know if I'll be doing a show tomorrow, but on Monday, I have a video on Bob Lazar. I have to play it. And I think it's really interesting, but it's another view on the Bob Lazar story. I know it's never going to die. It'll just trickle here and there every now and then. But I'm still intrigued, and I want to know everything I can about the Bob Lazar story. And the things that I'm finding out and found out, I'm beginning to believe the guy really isn't truthful. I believe there's half-truths. I don't know. I don't want to blow it all here. Anyway, that's it for tonight. So I want to thank Mr. Richard Lennie for joining me. This was unbelievable. I had a great time. Thank you. And I'll put the link in the description to where you could, if you, I guess, maybe want to contact him, take a look at his Facebook page, go to the YouTube channel. The links will be in the description at the end of the show or just thereafter. So thank you, everybody. Hey, where's the music to this place? I thought we had this all figured out before we started. And no, we got to have it. I can't end the show, especially. What's that? Did you see me battling these stupid flies? Like, I don't understand this. It must be something in my drain. Like somebody said that I can't kill fruit flies. That's what it was. It's pretty weird. I don't see anything all day. Is this it? Here we go. Let me turn it down. Got to get it right. Again, thank you, Mr. Lennie, for coming on. It was awesome. So, everybody, like and subscribe. If you had a good time, you know what to do. We want to get to 50 likes every show. You want to support the show? You want to become a patron? Go to patreon.com/goofonradio. Hey, if you want to become a member to goofon.net, it's free. You get your own page. You can be a part of forums and discussions and videos and news and all that. It's free at goofon.net. If you'd like to donate to the show without joining anything, go to goofon.org. And because all over the floor, you donate. That is a PayPal service. Goofon.org. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you maybe tomorrow night, but definitely Monday. So thanks again for everything. Take care. See you later. Is that it? Here we go. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.